So, talking about the steps in forecasting, basically, we have discussed what is demand. Okay, demand isn't desire to have product or service. To have desire is not the demand. To have desire and then there's the ability to get the desire is the demand. And then we have discussed about forecasting of demand, why we need to forecast demand, because when we have demand forecasting in our mind, then only we can plan our production line, then only we can work on the working capital management, then only we can have an assembly line of production, then only we can have a sales quota for the sales team, and then only we can achieve sustainability in the market. So when we talk about demand forecasting, we have discussed the example way of some products which require short range demand forecasting like smartphone. Then we discussed about some product which have medium range demand forecasting, maybe for product like consumer durable. Then we discussed about product like which have long term demand forecasting, which is used for daily used household products like atta or something. So basically, we have discussed what is demand, what is demand forecasting, how we can get the data for the demand forecasting. We have discussed where we discussed about structured data, unstructured data. We talked about market research, field research, point of sales data, field questionnaires data, and we have discussed different ways how the data can we get, either they are primary data or either they are secondary data. Now we are going to talk about steps in forecasting. So no matter what method is used, these are the following basic steps which are involved in forecasting. First is to determine the objective of forecast. First, we need to decide why you are making the forecast. Is to predict demand, or is it to know the consumer preference, or is this is about to study the future trend, or the purpose is simply to get an idea about what is happening around us. Okay, so first of all, whenever we do uh, forecasting is nothing but it's a statistical application, and whenever we work on statistics, we need to have an objective. So here the objective is need to be clear. So whenever we work on forecasting, we need to have an idea about why we are doing the research. Are we doing a research to work on the macroeconomics to predict the demand, or we want to understand the consumer preference, or we want to study the future trend? Next thing is to decide or select the time period for the forecast, which is where we decide whether the forecast is for short term, or it is for medium term, or it is for long term, where the time period here depends on the what information you need and for how long. So selecting the time period on which forecasting is made, that is also need to be worked on, because previously in the last class we have discussed about there are some product which require short term forecasting, there are product which require medium term forecasting, there are product which require long term forecasting. So once we have objective clear in our mind, then we need to decide the time period, and then we need to decide the method, like what method we are using for doing the forecasting. That method is based on the time period of the forecast, that is based on the type of data what we have, that method is based on the kind of result we are expecting from the forecasting. Then we need to gather the information for the forecasting. So when we are trying to gather the information, we can use primary data or we can use secondary data, and then we need to make the forecast based on the collected data and using AI, or by using R, Python, or any kind of mathematical or statistical software. We can use them to ultimately forecast the demand. Then the question comes, what are the methods? The methods or approaches can be of two type. They can be qualitative or they can be quantitative. So qualitative methods are given here. Like method one is survey of buyer intention or user expectation method. The second method is the collective opinion or Salesforce composite method. The third method is given as the group executive or expert judgment method. The fourth method is given as expert opinion. The fifth method is given as the market test method. Okay, so first we'll talk about the first method, survey of buyer intention or user expectation method. So when we talk about survey of buyer intention or user expectation method, in this method the company asks customer directly about their future buying plan. Okay, you go directly and talk with your consumer and talk about their future buying plan. For example, whether they plan to purchase the company product in the coming year or not, and if they are not going to purchase, then what is the problem with the product, why they don't want to purchase, if they want to purchase, what they liked in the product. Okay, it's very subjective feel for the market, and thinking behind the buying intention of the actual user ultimately help in understanding the sustainability or acceptability of the product in the market. It help in doing sales forecast, because as from this method, the information what is being collected or received from the actual user, where whose buying action will really decide the future market. So the estimates are good here. And this method is more appropriate where the users of the product are numbered and a new product is to be introduced for the previous record is to be made available. So it is generally used for the short term forecasting. So here we are using real information from the actual customers, so they are quite accurate and it gives a realistic understanding about what the customer thinks about the product and market. And they're useful when we are trying to launch a new product where no past data exists, and it is basically best suited for the short term forecasting. Did you understand this? Survey of buyer intention
So,
or user
understood,
expectation method.
but actually we don't have these kind of explanation in our book.
Same thing is given. Like
I
you are trying to
mean,
interact with the end consumer.
yeah, I
Huh,
understood that thing. The
huh,
meaning is same,
huh.
but the kind they have, like what they have told here means, can I attach the photo in the chat?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Is that possible?
Yes, sir, I have attached. I don't know if you have got that.
No, still I have not got. Yeah, yeah, this I'm getting. Yeah.
Huh. So in this, they have told under qualitative there is some Delphi method, Salesforce composite, and consumer
Delphi is
panel
after
survey.
that. After that.
Okay, so
Okay.
like the
Huh.
thing that which you are explaining now, we don't
Huh.
have that in our book.
Book means given by Apta.
No, sir, this is by institute itself, CMA book.
See, I'm also using CMA book only.
Yeah, but I don't know which syllabus is that because ours is 2022 syllabus.
I'm also using 22 only.
Okay.
I
I
don't know.
mean, I didn't
Huh.
find that maybe some page is missing or what, I don't know. So I just
Okay.
cross-checked with you.
No, no, no worry, no worry. So basically, you understood, right? You are directly this method, survey of the buyer. These all are very basic things and all. Only thing for exam purpose, if you're not writing exam, then there's no worry. Everyone understand very basic thing. But for exam, you have to write. So you have to just read and by heart these names. If you by heart the names and all, you write by yourself. You are directly interacting with the end consumer, trying to understand the future buying plan. That help us because that is more realistic data instead of doing some kind of data forecasting here and there, collecting some kind of useless data from anywhere. You're actually interacting with the end consumer, and from there you are getting the data, and that will give you much more realistic understanding about what the customer think about you, your product. Then you can even plan that if you are planning to come up with the new product similar to what you have, then should you do or not. So these all is very basic and very realistic method. Next method they are talking about is the collective opinion or Salesforce composite method. So in Salesforce composite method, salesman, branch manager, area manager, they estimate how much they can sell in the region. Okay, so this all you have heard, where like everyone department wise, everyone plan, they tell to their superiors like how much they can do business. Okay, so this is all about how the individuals holding positions, they decide their sales, they how much they can do and how much they can estimate in their respective territories and sections. So the estimate of the individual salesmen are then consolidated to find out the total estimated sales for the coming session. These estimates are then further examined by successive executive levels in the light of various factors like proposed change in product design, advertising and selling prices, competition before they are finally emerged for forecasting. So basically, when we talk about collective opinion or Salesforce composite method, here we are talking about different branch heads or salesman heads or area manager heads. They estimate their sales in the region, and then these estimates are combined to get the total estimated sales figure from the particular zone or from particular state or whatever. And then these numbers are being analyzed by researchers who are sitting over them to understand why the trend has decreased or increased, why the sales expectation given this time is more or less. And then they can analyze or compare that with the past data about what has happened in the past, so that they can design, then they can plan like how actually these figures are achievable. And then considering them, do they really come up with some kind of innovations in the product design or price change or advertising or competition before they can finalize the forecast. Because if the salespeople are not confident on selling the product in the end market, then automatically that should give it alarm bell to the people who are sitting over them, consultant or the marketing head people, about what is the reason for the decrease or increase in expectation. And that decrease or increase in expectation ultimately give idea to the people who are sitting over them to plan about the expenses or expenditure they can do in the market. Imagine if the salespeople are very confident that, sir, you come, you bring product, sir, we'll sell. We know how to sell. There's a big demand is there. You don't worry, sir, we'll sell the product. Then the marketing head would be also feel more confident, and then they can do advertisements and other ways, other indirect ways of generating revenue, which would be the indirect expenses. But when the salespeople, if they feel that they are not confident, company management think that the salespeople are not confident, then these outside expenses like advertisement and new changes in the product or some other varied form of uh, propaganda, they'll try to reduce it, so that ultimately those things will affect the costing, and that will affect the profitability of the company. Third is the group executive judgment or executive judgment method, where the sales executives from different department, marketing, finance, production, they share their opinion, and their collective judgment is used to forecast the sales or demand. So the third method is all about it's not what do you say, practical method. It's more subjective method, where the department, different department people are giving their opinions, and their opinions are being used for forecasting. Because we are talking about the different methods of forecasting. Then we have expert opinion. So in the expert opinion, you are getting it, what we are doing, the company seek opinion from external experts. Okay, those external experts, they give their opinions or views about the demand in the market and all. And these expert views are being used for predicting the company future sales. Then we have market test method. So in the market test method, the company sells its product in a small test market. Like this is called pilot production. you produce small part and then you test it. How, like, do they really, people in the market are liking or not? For that you choose a limited area, and that in limited area you see the survey, you see the likability, people liked or not, and if that is being accepted, then you come up with the bigger production or more production, so that the scale of delivering the product or service is being then increased. Understood?
Yes, sir.
So can you just summarize these methods? We have in qualitative method we have five methods.
So, okay. So, first one is survey of buyer's intention or the user's expectation method. Under
Hmm.
this, like we survey the consumers, like ask about their expectations, and then based on that, we ascertain our future demand.
Hmm. That is more realistic in nature,
Yeah.
because you are interacting directly with your end consumer, you are talking with them, you are trying to understand do they like the product or not. If they like the product, what they like more in the product. If they're not liking, what is the problem they're facing with the product. That way the company, this, the survey of buyer intention or user expectation method is more good when you do short term forecasting. And they're like when the company come up with the smartphones and all, so that will give more confidence, more boost to the management, so that they get more clarity about the buyer expectation, and the same expectation they try to bring in the product when they are coming ultimately in the market.
Yes, sir.
Then the next one,
Uh, Next one was Salesforce, I guess. I'm not sure.
collective
Yeah,
opinion or
Salesforce.
Salesforce composite method.
Yeah, this means that salesperson who are close to customers, they estimate sales in their area. Like then they are combined and reviewed by all the people in the management.
Like in this method, the salesman, branch manager, area manager, they estimate how much they can sell in the region. And then these individual estimates are combined to get the total expected sales. And then senior executive over them review these number, considering these factors like product design, price change, advertising, and competition before they can finalize the forecast. You got it right.
Yes, sir. And then is group executive judgment, in which top managers from different departments or groups, like maybe marketing or financing, they give their opinions whenever needed, then which are combined to make a sales forecast. If at all sales team is not
People from different
performing.
department, marketing, finance, production, everyone they give their opinion, because they are working in the company from long time, and they're seeing the market, what is happening in the market. And because when the demand fluctuates and all, everything fluctuate, and everyone their scale of operation get fluctuated. And when this big demand is there, when the market is accepting your product more, then finance people has to budget for the bigger finances, and they have to imply more sophisticated methods of having control on the expenses, or to calculate the production line financing requirement and other things. Similar way, the marketing sales people have to work a lot, planning about the quota, sales target, area managers, everyone is very actively involved. And then the production people are there, quality control people and all, they have to, they know that they have to use machine a lot, they know that they have to employ the workforce a lot, so they'll come up with the more HR better policies and all, which can give more training to the people, which can bring more innovations, more acceptability to them, so that they can work more, so that the machines can be used more with less problem in the machine capacity to handle and all. And when the reverse happen, then you know that the marketing people will have to fight with very competitive market to bring out the sales, then their perception become different. Finance people, their way of operation become different. Production people also, their nature of doing work also get affected. So these people who have seen the market from long time, who are from different department, they give their opinion, and their opinions altogether is being collected, and then collective judgment is being used to forecast the future sales or demand. Fourth one is expert opinion.
Yes, sir. In this, company gets opinions from outside specialists or expertise, such as maybe wholesalers, or depending on what they have to forecast on. With the help of those information, they forecast the future predictions.
Mhm. Correct, correct. So expert opinions are there sometime when the companies are not very sure, or they felt that the opinion given by internal department people has not worked much in the market and all. They thought that it's this time it is difficult to understand or to estimate the demand, because ultimately what we are talking about demand forecasting. So when we are talking demand forecasting means we are trying to predict what can happen in the future, and based on what can happen in the future we are want to plan our production. So many, when we are not confident with the internal team, the internal data what the team is giving, or maybe the last time the data what is given is not up to the mark, because of which they underproduced or overproduced. So this certain time company consult external experts, those external experts who have seen the market, who have worked with other companies, who have worked with their competitors. And there are a lot of consultants are there, like McKinsey, Boston Consultancy Group. There are a lot of big consultants are there who are from big MNCs, who have seen the market in much more better way, and their consultancy is being used, their opinions are being used for the demand forecasting.
Yes,
The
sir.
next one is
Mm.
the market survey
Market
method.
test.
Huh.
In this, when a new product is sold in the market, it is sold in small test, like you
Hmm.
said, in essence, like pilot test and all. Uh,
Hmm.
Based on the result from the test, they are used to predict how the product will sell in the wider market, or depending on that, how much production they have to do for it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Sometimes what happens when we do innovations, we are not very sure that this really work, this really will work or not. Maybe I came up with some kind of ragi or millet flakes, which can be kids can drink with milk. We know the health benefit of ragi and millet, and if you give same kind of explanation to elder people, or maybe someone of my age and all, they will understand. But if you think that kids will understand that they should eat ragi every day and all, that is very difficult for them to make them understand. They like something in chocolate, or they hear junk things only. So imagine you came up with some good idea, you came up with the product, but you, in order to prove that really is this will work or not, for that some we instead of doing mass production and then realizing that people are not accepting, because everything involve cost and all, and so instead of doing that we can do a pilot production, then we see the market acceptability about that product, then we can collect the opinion from the end consumer, and then the same thing can be replicated in the product innovations, in the product design, so that when the new product when it come, it should have more acceptability and all. So beta testing, alpha testing of new product can be done, and then once we felt that we are getting acceptability in the market, then we can do mass production, and then we can focus on bigger region for selling our product. So that can be the example of market test method.
Yes, sir, got it. Sir, what is beta testing, alpha testing?
Beta testing and all, you know about Geo and all, right? So when Geo came in the market, Geo wanted to target the whole India. But imagine if the Geo would have came and would have asked money from us, and then because Jio first time was coming into telecom industry, and they knew that Mukesh Ambani knew that when he will actually start giving telecom service, it might happen that the people might not get the network area. This happen, that issues might happen when you are coming with. You imagine you are getting it now. First time when you do something, you will not do perfectly right. Are you getting me? First time,
Yeah, yeah.
imagine if I tell you
Yes.
Adi tomorrow you have to teach to PU kids. So even then Adi know the subject. Even then Adi is very confident on teaching, but maybe she will struggle because she will struggle not because she don't have knowledge. She might struggle because of student accepting her, or she is because for her it's a first time. You're getting it right. But second time when Adi will do the same teaching, she will do in much more better way. So beta testing is like full fledged you don't do the work, but you are doing in small batches. You are doing in small level, so that you first see the acceptability. Is this being accepted or not? So when you are coming, you do test pilot production, small batch. You not do huge production. You do small production. That small production you will try to test on the end consumer, and you don't rely on some outside data. You yourself will go and collect the data. Are you getting it right?
Yes, sir. Got it.
हाँ. ठीक है, this much we are doing today. We'll continue tomorrow. Tomorrow we'll start qualitative method. Today we have discussed qualitative method. Next is the quantitative method. Sorry, we have done qualitative method. Next is the quantitative or statistical method, where we have two method: casual or regression analysis and time series analysis, which I was telling you that that statistics, time, d square method and all, that we'll discuss. That will be more numerical. We'll do that
Okay,
tomorrow.
sir.
Okay. Chalo. Thank you.